Hello everyone, hello, welcome to Bridge City, and I am here representing Bridge City. So I am going to be giving you guys the 10 most avoid food for a sickle cell patient. And this is because we learned this from our very admirable Mrs. Chi. Mrs. Chi is a very unique personality, a strong woman, a force to reckon with. She's a woman who has been living with sickle cell anemia for 49 years. And every time you see Mrs. Chi, she's always smiling and she's always full of life. So I am going to be telling you people the 10 different meals which she said to us to say to you guys as sickle cell patients to avoid. You must avoid 10 meals. If you're a sickle cell patient living in Africa, in Nigeria, you must avoid these 10 meals, according to Mrs. Chi, who is now 49 years and about to celebrate her 50th birthday. She says you should avoid food that are rich in iron, and this is because, according to her, food that are rich in iron tends to trigger you as a sickle cell patient. She said, according to her, that she had no idea about this until she went to the hospital and she was told by a specialist that she should avoid drugs, medicines, especially blood tonic that contains iron. So you must avoid drugs, blood tonic, and every meal that is rich in iron because it tends to trigger you as a sickle cell patient. And the second meal she said you should avoid eating is okra and ewedu. And this is a common meal among West Africans. We love to eat ewedu and amala. We love to eat okra. Now, she's not saying okra and ewedu is not a nice meal. They are nice meals. But as a sickle cell patient, you should avoid eating it excessively. And this is because okra and ewedu are very rich in iron, which tends to trigger you when you take it excessively. Number 3, she says snail and clams. And this is because snail and clams are very rich in iron. Now, she's not saying you should not take it. You can take it, but not excessively. Because she noticed over the years that whenever she takes snail and clams excessively, she tends to have a trigger. She becomes very sensitive and easily triggered. And the fourth one, she said, you should avoid taking alcohol. Of course, we all know that alcohol is harmful, so you should avoid taking alcohol. The fifth one she mentioned is avoid taking processed and canned meals. According to her, processed meals tend to have chemicals and bacteria which can be harmful to your health as a sickle cell anemia patient. The sixth one she told us was sugar. She said you should try your best possible to reduce your sugar intake because when you take excessive sugar, it tends to interact with your system wrongly as a sickle cell patient, which tends to lead to some trigger, which leads to crisis, which we are trying to avoid. The next one she said you should avoid eating is bitter leaf soup. This is predominant amongst my Igbo brothers and sisters from West Africa, Nigeria. They tend to eat a lot of bitter leaf soup. Now, she's not saying bitter leaf soup is not healthy. Bitter leaf soup is healthy, but then, as a sickle cell patient anemia, you should try to limit your intake of bitter leaf soup. And this is because bitter leaf soup has the capacity of reducing your sugar level. And this is something you are going to try to avoid because when your sugar level is very low, you tend to be very weak, and this can also lead to triggers. So I hope that you're going to consider these meals or this food when next you are having a meal. and try your best possible to avoid them as much as possible. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to Bridge City. Here we talk about real street hustle. We talk about women, children, men that have survived, that are fighters. That is what this page is meant for. Thank you.